Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Listen every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my
fight.
I don't wanna get saved. I've been doing shit my way, on the highway, and in the driveway is an S-range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want.
Ready, bro. Firing all cylinders. Reaction time there, speed there. Focus. That's what got him ready. It's focus. Good.
Good. Stay in your rhythm, champ. Stay in your rhythm. Your rhythm, your time, your fight. Let's go.
He's trying hard. Good try. This effort.
When you look at how Stevenson is training for Teofimo Lopez, it becomes clear that the entire camp is built around surviving and controlling the early chaos rather than shining late when things are comfortable.
How many rounds you do today? 17, right?
When you watch how Stevenson is preparing for Teofimo Lopez, it is clear that the full training camp is focused on staying calm and in control during the early pressure instead of trying to look sharp later when the fight feels easier.
So that's why we'll do that same always have the low point. I got you on my time. You got it?
Teofimo is most dangerous in the early part of a fight. Because of that, Shakur training is built to deal with pressure from the start using fast-paced round short breaks and drills that make him create space right after being pushed back. The purpose is to make pressure feel normal instead of heavy, so winning rounds under stress feels the same as staying relaxed later in the fight.
Get out of there, get out of there, get out of there. There we go, there we go. Left 15, all the way down.
I feel great. Sprints kind of be getting me right, get my conditioning right. Sometimes in a fight could turn into a sprint. Cause it's like, to start the pace fast as hell and then they can't keep up the pace. But the sprints will kind of get you in shape to where once you break down, sometimes you get a second win. Then you get another win. Then you get another win after that. So I did the sprints a lot in a Jamel Herring fight. That's why you seen me fight at a fast pace. And then once I slowed down, I picked it back up and I had all the energy in the world to do it. So we locked in.
A major focus of the training is cleaning up the small defensive mistakes that appeared in recent fights because against Teofimo, even a single clean punch can change things. That is why every jab and check hook is now followed by an automatic step back or angle shift with no pausing to admire shots and no chances given to let Teo feel confident when he tries to push forward. Shakur movement is not about circling the ring non-stop, but about short controlled steps that keep Teofimo close enough to throw while never stable enough to land clean. Mentally, the camp is focused on understanding Teofimo habits, watching how he rushes and how he loads up on single punches, and how he hesitates after. So by the middle rounds, those attacks feel expected rather than threatening.
Yeah, let's do the rest centered up, I think.
Oh, centered up? Okay, yeah, sorry. So he's looking right in the camera?
Yeah, because he's talking to...
Yeah, I'll land a punch on him. For sure.
Do you believe your opponent underestimates you?
I think my opponent is underestimating me because he said that I'm a slow one. He thinks that I'm too small.
The strategy is not to knock Teofimo out or try to overpower him, but to make him miss early answer back each time and slowly wear down his confidence until the explosive moments disappear. Simply put, Shakur is preparing to force Teofimo to spend more energy for less payoff until the fight turns frustrating, controlled, and clearly tilted in Shakur's favor.
Shakur is extremely smart.
Okay.
I can guarantee you this is what Shakur is going to do. Shakur is going to come out middle of the ring, work that jab, work that pawn that he does, all that, the feints. He's going to try to touch him with the jab, but he's going to be waiting on his moments to snap with that right hand, waiting on his moments to counter, waiting on his moments. And when they're not there, he's just going to slide off, go for that little walk.
Shakur Stevenson training cuts directly through the noise because when a camp is built to handle chaos without fear, the talk no longer feels like theory. Hearing Sean Porter and the others argue back and forth, you can sense the real point beneath the jokes. We claim we want brutality, yet we criticize fighters who are simply too good at surviving.
Right off, restart. Shakur is the kind of fighter that does not mind restarting. That was our thing, was once we start, we want to do the best we can to get away from another restart, because the restart allows you to reset, allows you that space, and stuff like that.
Porter talking about reset space and restarting the fight is not about being boring. It is the way you slowly drain Teofimo Lopez energy, because he relies on rhythm pauses to feel dangerous.
The thing that I like about Shakur, though, is, we already know the statistical numbers in terms of how much he gets hit per round and even per fight, which is
low.
But the other side of that is offensively, he's very accurate. Very accurate.
When people say Shakur needs to show the dog, I laugh, because dogs get hit, and Shakur's entire career is built on not letting anyone touch him. Fans complain about movement, then admit Teofimo has had dull fights too, and suddenly no one wants to finish that thought. That is boxing. The wild card talk still matters though, because Teofimo can change everything with one single moment.
While we don't like that he might throw 30, 40 punches around, he's usually on point when he throws. He don't miss. He finds his moments and then he turns it on. The difference is when he turns it on is he's delivered that power to a point where we actually sit back and all right, round after round, like, all right, he's losing these rounds.
While Shakur wins by slowly removing choices round after round. My view is that the more fans ask Shakur to fight another way, the more he stays true to himself. He is not hunting applause, he is hunting time. If Teofimo cannot force exchanges, that restless energy turns into shadow boxing that actually costs him.
Oh, listen, man, we're talking about a situation. We're talking about a situation where a fighter could be smart enough to just be right on point. What I mean by that is we could be in a situation where both these guys kind of coasting through.
We are not debating skill versus excitement, we are debating if patience should be criticized for being calm, and that is why this fight is risky both ways, because chaos only works if it is allowed, and Shakur trains to never allow it. If order stays, we call it boring while watching perfect timing unfold, and if chaos hits, we act surprised even though we asked for it.
Teo's finding moments to steal moments in every round and steal rounds and actually win on the scorecards simply because he did just a little bit more. Simply because he was just a little bit more active. I don't know.
Either way, someone's truth will be exposed, and that is what keeps me focused. Watching closely with bias aside, waiting for the moment when discipline faces real pressure, not online chatter, not memories, but real consequences unfolding in the rounds.
No, well, Shakur has the ability to diffuse you, so I think he has the Mayweather effect where he can diffuse you. It's just on if he's going to take the more risk, to stamp his victory, you know what I mean? He gonna let his hands go in the times that he could using his speed, so that's just what I think it is with that. I think he know how to nullify what you're doing.
Because his point is everyone is missing what this fight is truly about. Bernie said Shakur is not just hard to hit, he exists in that tricky space where you are close enough to feel confident, but far enough to look wrong. I nod because that is the Mayweather effect. He means not showmanship, just quiet frustration building up round after round.
Sometimes he leads in some fights. You know, he's not as capitalized as much as you think he could. You know, so I think that's gonna be it. You know, if you make him miss, make him pay 2 or 3. You know, not just one counter punch. You know, so I think that's the thing about it, and I'm sure that he will. You know, I'm sure that he will. Of course, he's gonna be a little cautious at first, but Teo ain't knocking nobody out neither.
When Bernie notes that Teofimo has not looked dominant recently, I hear less criticism and more caution because you cannot afford to be passive against someone who uses boredom as control. He pointed out that Teofimo takes hits, gets slowed down, and loses precision, which matters when facing Shakur Stevenson, a fighter who does not chase greatness but builds it steadily. I like how Bernie described it as Shakur fight to prove himself, not Teofimo's, because that is pressure in disguise.
I'm just, you know, so the kid, like, he in a good position, you know, and if he is able to win against Teofimo Lopez, he will be a lineal champion in 2 weights. And okay, Teo, he's done that. So if he beats Teo, he equals that accomplishment, and he beats him. So I would definitely say he's the best boxer. He's the best one.
You are not just fighting the man in front of you. You are fighting expectations, promotion, superstardom, and your own patience. Bernie said Teofimo had the clear path after Lomachenko and let it slip, and that struck me because boxing does not wait for anyone to feel ready. Then he hit the uncomfortable truth. If you cannot land on Shakur, how can you hurt him? And suddenly all the talk about power feels theoretical. I laughed when Bernie questioned the mythic Teofimo power because reality does not care about highlight reels, and lately the results have not matched the hype. When he compared Shakur to Mayweather's way of neutralizing opponents, that is not praise, it is a diagnosis. You can swing all night, but if nothing lands clean, your confidence fades. And when Bernie said this fight will show whether Shakur becomes a superstar, I felt that weight because winning clearly is no longer enough, it has to look undeniable. We are watching to see if control finally gets its reward or if chaos takes over again.
Shakur Stevenson's fucking insane. You know, he's good. He knows how to win fights. He doesn't risk as much, and I think he should because he's really good at it. But he just sometimes makes fights so boring. The only one that I like is the one that he fought and looked spectacular. Yeah, inside. He stayed inside. He showed. I was like, what the fuck? You know? And all the other fights, I would just fall asleep, bro, you know, too.
And right after Bernie describes Shakur as this slow-building frustration machine, Jose Benavidez Sr. steps in, sounding like the coach who has watched too many talented fighters lose to their own habits. That is where the tone subtly changes. Jose plainly says Shakur is insanely skilled but almost too careful, and I laughed because that is the nicest way to say, yes, he will win, but don't expect a thrill ride. When Jose talks about Shakur avoiding risk, I hear respect mixed with a challenge, like he is saying, you know you could push harder, right? And when he recalls that one fight where Shakur stayed in the pocket and made everyone hesitate, that is the ghost over this whole matchup. We have seen that version, which makes every safer performance feel like he is leaving something behind. Jose is not criticizing, he is analyzing. He is saying Shakur chooses control over flash intentionally, and you cannot fault a man for protecting his future, even if fans crave fireworks on demand.
And they have so much talent, and they just lose a little bit of focus, and boxing will make you pay for that, you know? So I'm just hoping that he's 100% back and focused, and man, when he's focused, that guy is dangerous, you know? So if he's focused, we're having a great fight. We're having a good fight. And you can't blink because both of these guys have power. So, or they can hurt each other, you know. And
then Jose shifts to Teofimo Lopez, and this is where it feels real and human. He calls Teofimo a showman, not in a silly way, but in a way that means he does things you cannot teach. I understood that because Teofimo talent has always been loud. But Jose also slipped in a quiet warning. Boxing punishes distraction, and Teofimo has been through a lot. That is not gossip, that is experience speaking. When Jose says that a focused Teofimo is dangerous, that is not hype, that is a conditional truth. Focused Teofimo is a threat. Unfocused Teofimo is just a question mark with gloves. I like that he refuses to pick a side, calling it 50-50, because that shows this fight is not about skills on paper, it is about who shows up fully. We are not watching styles collide, we are watching discipline fight temptation, and you already know which one boxing usually rewards when the lights get bright.
And I'm just so happy that this fight got made, and I'm looking forward to see this fight.
Absolutely, man. It's nice to see these guys, the best fight the best. Who do you favor in the fight?
Like I said, you know, both of them are so good, and like I said, whoever shows up that night is the one that's going to be more focused and take that fight.
So when you put it all together, the way Shakur structured his camp to make chaos normal, Porter breaking down why reset and control matter, Bernie pointing out the tricky range where confidence dies, and Jose reminding us that discipline and focus attention shape careers. You see, this fight is not about who is flashier or louder. Teofimo thrives on moments, emotion, and bursts. Shakur thrives on minutes, control, and quiet order. One needs the night to speed up, the other needs it to slow down. That is why every round feels like a test, not a highlight reel. One clean hit can change the story, but steady control can rewrite it completely. This is not good versus evil or boring versus exciting. It is philosophy versus philosophy with gloves on, and someone's truth will be revealed every time the bell rings. Now share your thoughts in the comments. Really dig into it, don't hold back. And hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Alert.